Chris Roberts here for Fight Hub TV. I'm joined by Eddie Hearn. How's things?
Good, mate, good.
Good. You want to give us a quick overview of why we're here today?
Yeah, we was watching the documentary about the build-up to the first fight, and of course the first fight itself, which gets better every time you watch it.
This is Chisora-Whyte.
Chisora-Whyte, yeah. So a lot of the media here, and just gearing up now. 12 days till the big fight, Whyte Chisora.
Do you know what? Watching that back, I forgot how good it was.
I know. Brutal. And yeah, like I said, how many times can you trade up and just get hit flush on the chin without going over? And that's why I think this fight would actually end by knockout, because I think it will go exactly the same way as the first fight in terms of the ferocity, the violence and the action, and I think eventually someone will go.
Now, in the 2 years since the last fight, it's almost 2 years to the exact date actually, where do you see the sort of journey of those two fighters involved?
Well, they should have really rematched before, but Chisora was too stubborn and so was Whyte, and then in the end they couldn't do a deal, and Chisora went to me, well, stick me in for the European title then. So I got him a shot against Kell Brook in Monaco, and there was no atmosphere there, and Chisora's like hot and cold, but when it's a big event and when the limelight's on and when a crowd are out, he's hot, you know. But he was so cold in Monaco, he lost on points and he blew it, you know, and he came back half fight. Why? I said, it's not the same fight now, you just lost. So I put him in with Takam, and that was, for me, that was his career ender against Takam, and he produced one of the best performances I've seen in another great fight and knocked Carlos Takam out. And actually they both had their best career performance that night, Dillian beating Parker and Derek beating Whyte. So you know, it's very interesting, and I think now with David Haye behind Chisora, he's got that extra few percent in terms of fitness, maybe a little bit of confidence and mental edge as well. But Whyte's improved a lot, you know.
You would say that in a calibre of opponents that he's faced.
He would, for sure. I mean, probably when you look at it, Takam is maybe on a level with Parker, but he's also beaten Brown, Helenius, you know, and others since Dillian Whyte. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
so I think he's the favourite, but Chisora's just tough, man. Like, he won't give in, and that's why it's going to be very, very brutal.
Do you think there's an element which is ordered in terms of obviously his age? You know, 2 years when you're in your mid-30s is quite a long time. Obviously, you know, Whyte's gone from 27 to 29. He's almost coming into his peak. Do you think that'll play a factor in?
Maybe, but then you look at the Takam fight, and you know, Chisora didn't really show any signs that he was aging. He just fought the same way. He soaked it up and then he knocked out Takam. So if Chisora was shot or gone, he would have gone in that fight, you know. And everything that David's seeing in the gym, you know, you're going to get a fitter Chisora than you got in the first fight. You're probably going to get a technically more sound one, and you're going to get someone with the same heart. So, you know, unless there's too many miles on the clock, but that's why I keep saying. But even like with Whyte, you know, don't forget Whyte went through that fight. You know, Whyte went through the AJ fight. Whyte went through the Parker fight. Whyte was 10 seconds away from being out in the Parker fight. You know, a mixture of being hurt and exhausted. So he's just come out of a heavy duty fight as well. But they're going to fight the same way they did in the first fight. So I just believe that down the stretch, someone will be getting knocked out here.
I think there's a very interesting narrative, isn't it, to Dillian Whyte's career now. It's panned out, and the dramatic style of the fights that he's involved in. And I think that, you know, a win here or in a couple of weeks, does that then potentially put him right in the mix with that top three
It does, because
heavyweights?
he's given everybody great entertainment, like, and he's fought everybody he can. Like, he's never shirked an opportunity. Even with this Chisora fight, like, you know, most people would have just waited to see what happens with Wilder. You know, whereas he said, no, I want to fight. It's like, yeah, but you don't need this fight. I want this fight. I love this fight. I said, yeah, but what if you lose? You've spunked it all, you know. But he don't care. He believes he can beat Chisora. He wants the fight. He enjoyed, in a sick way, the first fight, and he wants to continue giving fans the fights that they want, and that's why I think he's become very, very popular.
Yeah, there's a lot of risk in there in this fight, particularly for him. Where does a win put Chisora?
Right in the mix. I mean, look, he's never someone that we've looked at in terms of AJ thinking, oh, he's an opponent. But if he knocks out Dillian Whyte, he has to come into the mix at some point. And, you know, I think that one of the reasons David got involved is because he quite fancies Chisora to beat Whyte and then try and nick the AJ fight. But, you know, the ultimate priority for AJ is to be undisputed heavyweight world champion, and that's to fight Deontay Wilder.
Okay, just switching on from the heavyweights, just want to touch on the weekend, obviously Kell Brook's performance. What's your assessment of
I
that?
thought it was flat, and it could be a mixture of many things. One is maybe he's not quite as sharp as he used to be. I don't think that's the case. It's not something we saw in the gym. He has a new trainer, which is, after 12 years with his old trainer, that was his first fight with. So maybe it's fair enough to say he's not going to be 100% sharp. Maybe he got frustrated because he couldn't get him out of there, and Zerafa was coming in low a lot and he was missing him and it was a bit sloppy. But I don't think it was a terrible performance. I just don't think it was the performance that he wanted or the performance we're used to from Kell Brook. So I'm hoping that it's making fights, not just the Amir fight, but other fights, easier to make by people looking and saying, "Oh, Kell Brook might be on the slide." But remember 6-7 months ago, he boxed Lomachenko and looked $1 million, and he hasn't had a fight since. He hasn't done any hard sparring, so there's no reason for him to be in decline. I just think it was a flat night for him.
Do you think people are too quick in general to jump to conclusions, and particularly, Sky, social media, the commentators involved?
Very quick. I thought Froch was sharp. I thought Froch was harsh. It's like it's almost like people have got something in their mind before it goes into the fight, like a subconscious thought, and it translates into the commentary.
Because
he does it a bit. He does it a bit with Hearn as well. Like he might look a bit sloppy and it looks like he might be done here. It's like, all right, calm down. Kell's got a new trainer. Physically, he was in great condition. First round, he was brilliant. Nearly knocked him out.
Yeah.
Second round, up until the third, fourth round, he was very good. And then he just got flat. Frustration. I don't know. Just went to the other guy's level, but he still won at 118, 110, 117. So against a decent fighter. Zerafa was tough. He was a big light middleweight as well. So I always like to take the positives out of things.
Yeah.
But I just feel like a lot of people were jumping on it saying, "Oh, Brook's finished. He's over." It's like, all right, well, we'll see. You'll see if he's over and he's done when he's going in at elite level against a Khan or against a Vargas or a Garcia or a Thurman or these kind of guys. Because if he fights like that, he'll get beat to all of them.
Well, as you were saying, and like Chisora, who need a big fight to get going, it's the same thing,
yeah.
really. And I think the converse of what you're saying, he chins him in the first round, then you've got people jumping on that
Exactly.
bandwagon.
Well, I think if he would have chinned him in the first round, I don't think we would have been able to make the Khan fight. I don't think we would have able to make a lot of fights. So in a way, I'm quite happy. Kell's really disappointed because he felt better than he's ever felt, and he couldn't. He's saying in the change room after, he's saying, "Trainer, I just couldn't get the time out." He said, "Relax." He said, "You've done okay. Don't beat yourself up." Yeah, but I should have. They all thought he reads stuff on social media, so it's like, "Oh, Brook's gonna smoke this guy in a round." So he went out there first round, crash, bang, wallop, looked like he did, and then after 3 rounds, he's thinking, "Oh." And then Zerafa just went a little bit on survival mode. Then Kell got hit much too much. Yeah. But did he have that fear of getting hit? No, is the answer. He weren't fearful of getting hit. He was just flat and not sharp, but he can't fight like that at elite level.
I mean, as a promoter, as a businessman, I mean, and generally sort of the general fan consensus of how Kell Brook's come off the back of this, how do you now go about reviving a potential fight, Kell Brook, Amir Khan?
You just make it, and the build-up will do the rest. People very quickly forget about a slightly below par performance on Saturday night when a fight gets made with a build-up like that, with the history like that, with the bad blood like that, with the hype like that, and with what it is, a great fight, a great 50-50 all-British domestic fight. So that changes very, very quickly, and it's in an ideal world we'd like everyone to look sensational every time they fight, but that wasn't the case. But on this occasion it might actually help us rather than hinder.
And I just want to ask you about Lomachenko, obviously a performance on the weekend, another world title.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I mean, the feedback I got was not spectacular. I don't know. Did you see it? I mean,
I've watched the highlights. And
yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I think it's a
good win. Look, it's a unification win. Again, same kind of thing.
It's expectations.
Yeah, and people say, "Oh, he didn't look great." He completely outboxed a world champion. It's a bit like Joshua Parker. Poor performance. he won nearly every round against a world champion and unified, so it can't have been that bad. But now WBA have already ordered Crolla against Lomachenko, and the clock's ticking on that one. So we've made several offers now to Bob Arum for that fight, and we'll see what they do. I don't know.
I don't know whether you've seen anything. I'm not sure what channel it was on. But Bob Arum was talking on the weekend about that Anthony Crolla situation and just
dismissed it.
Yeah, totally dismissed it.
He won't want it because he will know that we would love to do that fight on DAZN, right? And he, of course, would want to do it on ESPN. Same thing if Lomachenko was with us and he had Crolla. So Lomachenko will be looking at this now going, I'm going to get an absolute fortune for fighting Anthony Crolla, right? So he wants the Crolla fight. They're also going to do the IBF fight between Commey and Chaniev, but that's not till like February or March. So Lomachenko is going to want to box in March or something like that, so he can fight Crolla, then fight the winner of that. But Bob's in an awkward position because he knows it's going to get very, very expensive for him in this particular fight, because we'll just go purse bids, so that's why he's just dismissed the fight. Lomachenko will want this fight. He'll believe he can beat Anthony Crolla and he'll make a career high payday. So
I think it's a good marketing strategy for himself as well with the British fans. You know what I mean? I don't know
it is, but we'd probably do it over there. We would probably do it in America because that's where the bulk of the money would come, from American TV. But again, Crolla would take a lot to New York for that fight, a lot. And look, again, it's like Rocky against Canelo. People go, oh, Crolla's got. He's a massive underdog. They both are. But what you don't turn these fights down. Life-changing money, but more importantly, an opportunity to fight the pound for pound best in the sport. Everyone wants to mix it with those. It doesn't matter, like if you're for anyone, whatever sport they do. If you like playing football, wouldn't you love to have a one-on-one game with Messi? Right? I mean, when I was playing cricket, and I was a batsman, I just would love to have faced, I don't know, at the time, Devon Malcolm, Joel Garner, like any of these real quick fights. They were too good for me, but I wanted to know if I could compete with them. And you know what? Maybe I could. I couldn't have, but you understand? So if you're in the sport, you've got to want to aspire to fight the very best. You've got to want to do that in every shape of life that you're in, every form of business. Doesn't matter if you work in a bank, you've got to want to try and be the best, take on the best. If you're a trader, you want to outdo the other traders, take them on head to head. And this is what Crolla wants to do, this is what Fielding wants to do. So let them do it and find out if they're good enough. If they're not, you've boxed at Madison Square Garden against pound for pound number one.
So I don't know whether you spoke to Rocky this week, but what sort of his mentality?
Spoke to him Friday, before he went. He's in a good place, He's not an idiot. He knows the game. He's been around it a long time. He's a massive underdog. But what are you going to do? Say no? Turn it down? Not go and defend your title against Canelo at Madison Square Gardens? I don't think so. So this is it. This is a chance for him. He's got the size advantage. He's got the reach advantage. He's going to be a lot heavier on the night. Use it and try and cause a massive upset. He's a massive underdog. What else? What more can you say? But I'll tell you what, he'll give it everything he's got. There'll be a great atmosphere out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think everyone's wishing him the best as well.
Well, they are. But I see some people on social media, not people in the sport, but just members of the public. Like it's just. I think people talk on social media without thinking sometimes. Like you post something out, and I just see it's like he's tagged in. It's like in life, you should just want the best for everybody, because that'll come back on you. Spread positive vibes and positive love. Why say, oh, he's going to get knocked out? Oh, why are you throwing him with him? He's got absolutely no chance. What? If you think that, why would you tweet the guy who is achieving a lifelong dream? This guy is defending his world title against Canelo at Madison Square Gardens. What are you doing? I mean, I'll never be able to achieve something as great as that. Nor will you. Nor will him. Nor will everybody in here. Apart from David A, who's over there. So why wouldn't you just go, fucking fair play to you, mate. Good luck to you. Living a dream. So, but I don't understand the mentality of people.
I think the boxing hardcores, everyone in here today, you know what I mean, is obviously rooting for him, and I'm really looking
but anyone in
life
personally should be. It doesn't matter what sport it is. If there was a story of a you know, I don't know, a young footballer who suddenly got an opportunity to go and play for Real Madrid, but you felt that he was a little bit out of his depth. What would you do? Tweet him and go, "Oh mate, can't believe you've got this opportunity of a lifetime. You ain't good enough. You're shit." Why would you do that? Why don't you just go, "Fair play, mate"? You can go down a pub and say, "I think he's gone to Real Madrid. Fuck me. Are you sure?" But what? I don't know. Anyway.
You get it all the time in here, though, as well. Do you know what I mean? You put out videos and you shouldn't have asked this. You shouldn't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But that's but the same people that would say that would go up to Rocky Fielding and ask him for a photo and wish him great luck. You know what I mean? That's the weird.
It's a cracking time anyway.
Yeah.
But
All right,
listen,
mate.
Eddie, thanks for talking
Cheers,
to Fight
mate.
Up TV.
Good
Good
stuff.
talking to you as always.
Cheers, mate.
Come on.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks.